right, welcome back. So in this video, we're going to talk about resources. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's click on resources. And let's go to rooms and equipment. Okay, so the cool thing about this is you can create mailboxes for resources like conference rooms, company cars, and shared equipment. So people in your organization can reserve them. Okay, so an example of this would be, and this was another issue that I ran into being director of IT. And you probably have run into it as well if you are a director of IT, or you may run into it if you get into this endeavor and deal with IT and you're a business owner, let's say, and you're wondering, what should I do with this? Well, I'll tell you. Um, you want to have an inventory of all your equipment. Okay, I cannot tell you how important that is. People think that doing inventory doesn't make any sense. I've talked to numerous people that just looked at me sideways when I said, let's do inventory. They're like, what's that? And basically what inventory is what you're doing is you're getting a list of all your equipment. So let's say that you have, especially now, let's say you have tablets. Let's say you have smartphones. Let's say you have laptops, okay, that you are signing out to people, okay? And the most common thing is tablet or an iPad and a laptop. Those are the two most common things that you would sign out for any type of organization. And I would say mostly laptops. You know, tablets are good, but tablets are, you'd have to have a mobile network on there for it to really be worth your while. And me personally, I prefer laptops still because of the computing power. If you're doing simple tasks, okay, fine. But if you're going to do simple tasks, you might as well use your phone or have an iPad with a network on it, like Verizon or AT&T or whoever, and then you're good to go. All right. So let's go ahead and let's add a resource, and I'll just show you a quick example. All right. So resource. So we have a room and then equipment. Okay. So the resource could be create a mailbox for things like conference room, company car, or equipment that everyone needs to use so that those resources are reservable. Okay, so for example, we could put laptop 01, or let's do 001, okay, and then laptop 001. I have one of them. Location, we'll just leave it at that, and no phone number, okay. So now I've added a resource, okay, and so what you can do with this, we'll give it a second to save here, and then we'll look at that. We'll give it a minute here. But here's the thing, and this was a problem that okay, so you created a new mailbox for your equipment and can use the email address to book the resource. Default booking options have been applied, such as allowing repeating meetings and automatically accepting meeting invites. You can change these at any time. Okay. So we can do that. And what I can do, okay, so now if I want to reserve this, okay, you can do it that way. Now, what I recommend doing for rooms and equipment is not necessarily using this. I mean, this is okay, but there are better systems out there that you could use to do the same thing, and they're way more robust, as they say. So we have sites. Okay, so I can add a site. Okay, now it's going to kick me off of the admin panel and take me over to SharePoint. Okay, now SharePoint is a whole another sack of potatoes, so I'm not going to get into this right now because SharePoint is a whole course in its own, but we're going to cover this in a later section. So for right now, we'll just kind of leave this alone, but I'll just read you the description here real quick. So team site, share documents, have conversations with your team, keep track of events, manage tasks, and more with site connected to a Microsoft 365 group. Okay. Communication site, publish dynamic, beautiful content to people in your organization to keep them informed and engaged on topics, events, or projects. Okay, so I'm going to close that out. So those are sites that you could add. So you can see we already have a couple sites here. We have joshwarner.sharepoint, sites, all company, then joshwarner.sharepoint, and then Josh Warner SharePoint sites, Josh Warner. So those are the 3 different sites that we have operational right now. Okay. And then again, if you want to request equipment, you can do that here. We're going to delete this. And let's go ahead and delete. So I'll tell you a quick story about resources and equipment. Okay. You want to make sure that you have a couple things. Okay. When you have resources. Okay. You want to make sure that you're labeling, you have a uniform label for that equipment. Okay. So whatever your uniform label is, I'll give you an example. Let's just go back here and I'll just use this so I can type something up. Let's say that the name of the company is EFG. Okay. And then we could do laptop 0001. Okay. So that's how you could kind of give it an identity. The company name, the resource, and then the number. Now you say, well, why would you do 0001? Well, here's why. If you do this, that's great. But what if you have 100 items? It's better just to do 001. That way it gives you more room to add. And it's actually easier to identify if you have 4 zeros in front of it than nothing, because with 4 zeros in front of it, and this is just my personal opinion, so you don't have to do this, but with 4 zeros in front of it, I have the company name here, I have the resource here, and then the number, okay? And then when you have laptop 2, you just do this. And then laptop 3, laptop 4, laptop 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay. So that's one way to do it. Okay. And I would do it, and you could even go one step further if you wanted to. You could do laptop and then do PC. Okay. So what's it saying? It's the company name. What type of device is it? Is it PC or Mac? PC. Okay. And then the number. Now, if you have Mac, you could just do this. Okay. Do Mac. So okay, it's a Mac or it's a PC. So that's another way to do it. But this just gives you information, because what you want to do is when you're hiring people, you want to give them as much information as possible, because techs like details. The more details you give them, the easier their job is and the more effective they are. If you make them do everything, it's going to be harder for them to get their job done. Okay? Because really the sign of a good tech is them sitting in the desk, drinking coffee, waiting for fires. Think of a tech as a firefighter. Do firefighters go to the firehouse and then run to a fire, or do they go to the firehouse and play cards, wait for things to happen, right? They're on call. That's the same thing with a tech. Whether you're doing IT, AV, any kind of technical work, you're on call. So you want to create an environment where your tech is on call. You don't want them running around in circles, okay? It doesn't make any sense. That's not good, because then stuff is not operating correctly. When you have a constant circle of chaos, that means that your company is not organized and they need a consultant to come in and, rip that apart and fix it, okay? So, but this is a good format that you could use. Company, okay, device, operating system, and then number. And that way you know exactly what it is. Now, the real purpose of this is if you get into Active Directory. With Active Directory, you can label the devices, okay? So let's say that you have device 1, device 2, device 3, okay? You want to have those numbers there and give it that identifier, so when you map out the office, okay? And again, this is a whole nother video, but I'll talk about it in a later video. But Visio is a layout program where you can lay out all your devices, okay? So what you can do is, if you had an office with 50 computers, okay? And let's say you have 10 computers for each department, okay? So you have 10 for the executive department. You have 10 for sales. You have 10 for marketing, okay? You have 10 for HR. And then you have 10 for creative department, okay? I'm just making up stuff. You could literally take those 50 devices and separate them out by departments if you wanted to. So you could do company, and then you could do marketing, okay? And then you could do laptop, Mac, and then the number, okay? And you do 01, and then you do 02, and then 03, and then 04, 05, 06, 07, et cetera, et cetera. And you could just go up to 10 for marketing, okay? And then do the same for sales, creative, executive, and HR. There you go. So that's a way to uniformly label your equipment, okay? So I've gone off into the weeds, so that's resources. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.